Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on News Nationwide. I am Shehu Said. As part of launching a satellite into orbit from Nigeria by 2025, President Goodluck Jonathan has inaugurated the National Space Council with a call for it to explore ways for Nigeria to maximally benefit from huge investments towards a science-based society and technologically driven economy. State House correspondent Ima Okondo reports.
Once again, recapping the 2011 launch of two observatory satellites, one built by Nigerian engineers, President Jonathan said this is another move for another record in the nation's space program. With him as the council's chairman and Vice President Namadi Sambu as vice chairman, he said the council will be monitoring policy guidelines on satellite technology for various applications, operationalizing indigenous systems, and launching of satellites. Others?
We must evolve clear-cut initiatives that will not only fast-track our industrialization process, but one that will also see us, within the shortest possible period, able to build our own motor vehicles, our own boats, and our own aircrafts, and of course, launch our own satellite manufactured in Nigeria from a launch site in Nigeria on a launch vehicle made in Nigeria. This is a challenge not only to the members of the council, but to all Nigerians. We should dedicate ourselves to building a better, technologically advanced, stable and prosperous Nigeria for our children.
Other council members and ministers of science and technology, defense, interior, national planning, communications technology, education and justice. Others are Director General of the National Space Research and Development Agency and 3 distinguished scientists. In the State House, I'm Ima Okondo, NT News.
At the inauguration of the National Space Council, President Goodluck Jonathan noted that so much will be expected from the 3 distinguished professionals on the council for expert advice. He said that there should be no drawback and there must be continuity towards 2025 target date. Here again is State House correspondent Ima Okondo.
President Jonathan noted that with Professors Elijah Michele, Vincent Olunloyo, and Francisca Okeke in that order, structuring and driving the nation's program with their contributory professional advice will help situate national security, communications, industrialization, and socio-economic development. One of them says they are enthused.
That at least we have a president that appreciates science and technology. That has been the bane of our country. It's like Siberia. Everybody knows where it is, but nobody wants to go there. What science can do, what technology can do, it could revolutionize everything. Let me talk about research. 99.99 of research, it doesn't have any dividends. But that 0.0001 has more dividend than you could ever imagine. It makes it worth your while to pursue the 99.999, okay? That may not come out.
Another says there should be no drawbacks.
In any type of technological development, there will be drawbacks. That should not be discouraging, because even in the advanced, they start in this type of way, and there are drawbacks, there are pitfalls, there are mistakes, but I mean, they try and make sure that they overcome such drawbacks, and I'm sure that the end will be the best for them.
The other speaks on continuity.
That should also start by putting it across from primary to tertiary level so that we don't lose them. When we now, these ones that are already on board, when they now retire and then are tired, we still have some younger ones to join us. Yeah. That is continuity. That's very essential for development of science and technology.
With the law setting up the council signed by President Jonathan in 2010 and now the inauguration.
The fact is that, a number of programs couldn't be adequately funded. For example, before the launch of Nigerian SAT-2, we had 2 years delay. And in addition to that, with this launching now, it will afford us the opportunity of fast-track a number of things, which means the President will now be, or President will have the opportunity now of being briefed firsthand and directly intervening and fast-tracking development. Also notes that space technology elsewhere is not only about satellite, it's also about high-tech development in the country.
In the State House, I'm Ima Okondo, NTA News.
The Senate has so far passed a total of 17 bills between June 2012 and June 2013. Chairman, Senate Committee on Rules and Business, Senator Ita Enang, disclosed this while briefing the media on the activities of the Senate within the period under review. Aisha Tizongo Abdullahi has the details.
Senator Ita Enang said the Senate has recorded tremendous achievements in the course of legislation, as a total number of 160 bills introduced are at various stages of legislative process. 16 out of that number are executive bills. The Senate is disclosed similarly passed a total number of 30 landmark resolutions and received 24 petitions which have to do with wrongful termination of appointment.
You can see from the record we've given that it is not all the bills that we pass. We reject some of them, no matter how noble it looks in intent. If we find out that there is an existing law or it conflicts with the Constitution or is a law relating to a matter which is subject to the jurisdiction of the state houses of assembly.
The senator made clarifications on the Senate position as regards some contending issues in the 2013 appropriation bill.
On the funding for Securities and Exchange Commission, that is a matter that is addressed in the 2013 Appropriation Act. And when a matter is addressed by an act, you cannot say anything other than is addressed by the act. So there is a law on that.
He described the legislative period as quite eventful. 6th of June 2013 officially marked the end of the second legislative session of the 7th Senate. In Abuja, Ashitizongo Abdullahi, NTA News.
The United Nations has declared support for Nigeria in the fight against terrorism and extremism along borders in the sub-region. UN Secretary General Special Envoy, led by the chairman, Nigeria-Cameroon Mixed Commission, Said Jinnat, disclosed this when he paid a courtesy call on the Minister of State Defense, Olushola Obada. Defense correspondent Muhammad Abdulkadir reports.
Minister of State Defense Olushola Obada said the creation of the Cameroon-Nigeria Mixed Commission, which is a platform brokered by the United Nations to bring the two countries together to resolve grey areas, has made significant impact.
There exists a bilateral agreement on the establishment of Trans-Border Security Committee, which emanated from the Office of the National Security Advisor in the year 2010.
The Chief of Defense Staff, Admiral Saad Ibrahim, put the issue of security in proper perspective.
We are well in tune relating with Cameroons because we know of the strategic importance of their cooperation to us to solve the problem out there in the northeastern sector of our country.
The UN Secretary General Special Representative said between the two countries and areas of collaboration with the United Nations to stop transborder crimes in the sub-region. Nigeria and Cameroon share extensive land and maritime borders that are porous.
Nigeria has constituted implementation committee for the bilateral agreement on the joint policing of the common borders between Nigeria and Cameroon. From the Ship House, Ministry of Defense, Abuja, Muhammad Abdul Kadri, NTA News.
Kano State government has so far expended over 250 million naira on its newly established Corporate Security Institute. Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso said this at the graduation ceremony of the first set of the trainees of the institute. Abdullahi Mustafa was there for NTA News.
The first set of trainees of the Kano Corporate Security Institute Gabasawa is made up of 216 youth who received basic professional skills on non-combatant security services. All of them were absorbed into the State Civil Service and posted to Ministry of Health, Office of the Head of Service, and Kano State Universal Basic Education Board. In addition to public service, Governor Rabi Musa Kwankwaso said future graduates of the institute will be provided opportunities in the private sector. Secretary to Kano State Government Rabiu Suleiman Bichi, whose office supervised the establishment and takeoff of the institute, stated that this is also an opportunity for private guard companies to build the capacity of their staff. Emir of Kano Alhaji Ado Bayero, who was represented, described the establishment of the institute as a giant step towards effective protection of lives and property and urged people in the state to take its advantage. Representatives of various security agencies in their messages of goodwill assured of their total support to the institute. A graduate, Kabiru Haruna, thanked Kano State government for getting them empowered. At the end of the ceremony, Governor Rabi Musa Konkoso also presided over the presentation of appointment letters to some of the 1,005 graduates employed recently by the state government. In Kano, Abdullah Mustafa, NTA News.
And time for us to join Lagos Network Center for news around that zone with Ademola. Good evening.
Thank you, Shehu, and welcome to Lagos. Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola has signed into law the State Christian and Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, the Ibile Oil and Gas Corporation, as well as another to provide for voluntary cremation of corpses and unclaimed corpses in Lagos. Correspondent Kende Olaleye has the rest of the story.
The governor, while signing the 3 bills into law, said the new law for voluntary cremation of corpses and unclaimed corpses in the state and for connected purposes will only apply voluntarily. He added that the state must, as expected, take a role and provide as many services as possible so that the people who come to Lagos will know that they have come to an international city where they can make choices.
Perhaps for me, it tells the story of a full consciousness of how global our state has become in the affairs of things. If people migrate here, choose a home here, set up businesses here, and their unique beliefs from where they come is that cremation is the best way in which they want to, I think we should also, as a global city, provide those as a standard practice as is done in many other cities in the world.
On the bill for a law to establish the Ibile Oil and Gas Corporation, the governor said the initiative behind the law was to further deepen the vision of setting up a Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources in Lagos State and ensure that the state is able to participate in as many sectors of oil and gas and generally in power and energy development. On the new law consolidating the Muslim and Christian Welfare Board, the governor said he was of the belief that if the government can make laws to give choices to people on cultural beliefs, why not also for Christians and Muslims to undertake their own religious sensitivity? In Lagos, Kende Olaleye, NT News.
The need for seamless integration in the transport industry for efficient and economic development was the focus of the 6th Annual Forum on Transport Development in Lagos. The symposium, which attracted stakeholders in the transport sector, was also a platform for awards. The report.
The transport sector is one of the key drivers of the nation's economy. Effective integration of the industry, experts say, will positively impact on the national development. In his lecture titled Nigeria's Transport Master Plan, The Need for an Efficient Intermodal Transport, guest lecturer Professor Eyola Oni pointed out the benefits of a transportation master plan.
For us to be able to get the best, of the efficiencies, of the benefits of transport, it has to be a kind of smooth, seamless means of transportation.
High points of the event was the presentation of awards to personalities who have contributed immensely to the growth and development of the transport sector. Stakeholders commented on the event.
It's an annual event that we stage every year as a little of our contribution towards the development of the transport sector.
Extending a hand of fellowship to come into the fold so that together we can continue to champion the cause of the transport sector in Nigeria.
The symposium, which is an annual event, attracted industry players.
The need to support social work towards minimizing its effects on the general society has been stressed. This came to the fore at the launch and presentation of the book titled Social Work in Mega City of Lagos by Ola Omishile, held at the Women Development Center, Agege, Lagos State. The report.
The 75-page book was on the relevance of social work in tackling societal problems. It also takes a look at features of megacity in terms of societal transformation and innovation. Special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Youth and Social Development, Dr. Dolapo Badro, said the book will go a long way in enlightening the people.
In a megacity like Lagos, there will be so many challenges bordering on social development. We have very well-trained professionals, and we try as much as possible to make sure that we keep the family values within the family, and every department of social work is being done how it should be done.
Reviewing the book, Mr. Olawale Adams described the work as one that will have great influence on the society, as the author had done a good job.
Most of the challenges or the problem that is facing our society today are slightly due to the fact that social workers are not really, involved in the governance of this society. And there is need for social workers to be included or to be involved in policy formulations and policy implementation.
The book has 8 chapters. From Lagos, Victoria Olabodi, NTA News.
And that does it from Lagos. It's back to you, Shehu, for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Demola in Lagos. Over 300 exhibitors from 17 countries are attending the 6th African Arts and Crafts Expo holding in Abuja. First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan, who declared the expo open, called for the utilization of the expo for job creation and economic empowerment. State House correspondent Makut Simon Macham reports.
With the theme leveraging the arts and crafts industry for job creation and economic empowerment, the 6th African Arts and Crafts Expo, AFAC 2013, holding in Abuja, has exhibitors from across Africa displaying the rich cultural and artistic heritage of Africa and Nigeria in particular. While declaring open the event, First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan described the expo as a unique opportunity to focus on job creation, economic empowerment and promotion of the culture and crafts of Nigeria and Africa. The First Lady called for the utilization of the windows of the expo and similar events to tap the potentials of artists, especially women who are producers of many arts and crafts products.
The arts and crafts sector can offer us limitless opportunities and potentials of turning many Nigerians from being job seekers to become job providers.
Minister of Culture, Tourism and National Orientation, Edem Duke, said the event has received increased patronage from within and outside Africa, a situation the ministry is trying to exploit and create a non-oil economy for Nigeria.
These editions have succeeded in reawakening our consciousness of the abundant potentials in the cultural industry that could be tapped and developed towards addressing the challenges of youth empowerment and wealth creation.
The Chief Executive Officer of the National Council for Arts and Culture, Mwajim Madugu, urged Nigerians to patronize the expo. In Abuja, I am Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
The First Lady, Dame Patience Jonathan, has in the meantime advised Nigerians to imbibe the culture of philanthropy in order to assist the less privileged and vulnerable members of the society. She said this at the launch of the Crying Child Foundation of Hajia Fatima Bamanga Tukur, wife of the PDP National Chairman. Again, State House correspondent Makut Simon Macham reports.
The Crying Child, a foundation aimed at addressing street children who are often abandoned, abused and neglected, also wants to rehabilitate these children and ensure they go back to school. This is the dream of Hajia Fatima Bamange Tukur, wife of the PDP national chairman, who turned 50. To mark the launch of the foundation and celebrate her 50th birthday in Abuja, the International Conference Center played host to guests from all over the country who came to congratulate the celebrant and play support to her effort to addressing a critical section of the Nigerian population, the children. First Lady Dempsey Jonathan, speaking at the occasion, described the act of charity as a mandate by God which should be imbibed as a way of sharing love with those who are less privileged and vulnerable in society.
I wish to state that I am highly pleased by the increase in the spread of organizations devoted to the care of children, needing help and care, which has been my own overwhelming passion, as you all know.
Governors of Abia and Bayelsa State, as well as other dignitaries, including traditional rulers, commended the celebrant for using her birthday to seek to help children. The birthday cake cutting featured at the event. I am Makut Simon Machan, NTA News.
A post-dated bail has been granted to the member of the Kogi State House of Assembly, Friday Sani, who was charged before an Abuja magistrate court for unlawful possession of firearms and police communication equipment. Judicial correspondent Femi Okewo completes the story.
I wasn't arrested with any arm. I was not.
Tuesday's sitting was meant to take the ruling on the bail application of Friday Sani, the member of Kogi State House of Assembly, and his co-accused David Job, whom the police said were found in possession of firearms, ammunition, and police walkie-talkie. But prosecutor Simon Law came up with an application to terminate the first information report on the grounds that there were fresh accusations against the accused. He said some armed robbers who had just been arrested pointed to Friday Sani as their source of weapons and wanted the court to grant the police more time to investigate the new finding. The defense, led by John Adene, objected, stressing that the court should exercise its discretion based on what was already before it and not a new application. Chief Magistrate Shaibu struck a middle course, granting bail to Friday Sani, but which will take effect on Monday 17th in the sum of 5 million naira and a surety in like sum. The second accused was granted an immediate bail in the sum of 1 million naira. For now, the Kogi State House of Assembly is on recess, and so Friday Issa got the solidarity visit of the Speaker and 2 other members of the House of Assembly. His trial will commence on the 15th of July, by which time the House would have started sitting again. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
Police authorities hold sensitization workshop for the Southwest, plus lecture on impact of science on national security, as we join Sani in Ibadan for the details. So over to you, Sani.
Thank you, Shehu, and welcome to Ibadan. Security experts have advocated for a national database to combat insecurity in Nigeria. This was at the Southwest Police Intelligence Sensitization and Community Partnership Workshop in Ibadan. Correspondent Fatai Adeloja has the details.
It is part of continuing efforts to mobilize community support in ensuring national security. The Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Abubakar, represented by the Southwest Coordinator, AIG Abdurrahman Akau, said it is in realization of the need for paradigm shift from the old method to a modern, people-centered and efficient method that the authority deemed it fit to seek people's goodwill. Oyo State Governor, Senator Abiola Ajimobi, represented by his deputy, said Oyo State has proved its mettle in collaborating with security agencies.
This administration, in partnership with the police, has restored peace and order.
Lead Speaker Mr. Fola Arthur Warren underscored the
has a database of 75 million registered voters with their fingerprints and their photographs. And yet that information is not shared with law enforcement.
The issues border on underfunding, underpolicing, and need for trust between members of the public and the police. Fatai Adieloja,
NTA News.
Science and its application has been described as one of the effective tools in combating insecurity in the country. Femi Odekunle, a professor in criminology, gave this indication at a workshop organized by the Science Department of the Federal College of Education, Oyo. Correspondent Lanre Belei has the details.
In view of the recent cases of insecurity in the country, the Department of Science, Federal College of Education, Oyo, organized a workshop to provide solutions to myriads of security challenges confronting the country. The guest speaker, Professor Femi Odekunle, highlights the importance of science and its application in solving the security challenges in the country. He said, judging by the increasing sophistication in which crimes are perpetrated in the country, there's a need to improve on scientific approach to solve the myriads of security challenges bedeviling the country.
You must start first to reverse your social organizational efforts.
He appealed to governments at all levels to embrace scientific knowledge to deal with all security challenges in the country. He said that the developed world had solved their security challenges using science.